Hey guys, Jeff the Nature Guy here at Zoo Montana, continuing our look into amphibians. And today, I brought an amphibian you might not think is an amphibian. You might think it's a lizard. Look at that face and those little beady eyes. This is Sergio, our tiger salamander here at the zoo. And you know, when you think of amphibians, you immediately probably think of frogs, right? And toads and those little guys that are tadpoles and they grow legs and next thing you know, it's a frog hopping on the ground. Well, a little different here. This is actually a salamander called a tiger salamander. And they do start their life in the water as well. So they're born with gills and they swim underwater just like tadpoles do. But over time, they lose those gills and they come up and start breathing air and, well, they live on land. And this particular salamander, what's so cool is that they're found all over the U.S., including here in Montana. And a lot of people are surprised by that. But the tiger salamander actually does quite well in Montana. And the cool thing to remember, guys, we're lucky that we have these guys here. Let me tell you why. Because, well, guess what? This is the largest land-dwelling salamander in the whole wide world. It means nowhere in the world is there a salamander that lives on the land bigger than this. We have him right here in Montana. We are lucky. Now, a couple things I want you to notice about this guy. First of all, he's got that big open mouth. Well, it's not open, but it's a big giant mouth. And that mouth, of course, is big to allow him to get his prey. This guy likes to eat bugs, primarily bugs. And he's a pretty good digger, so he uses those big feet there to dig his food. He uses this big tail. He can use it to whip if he needs to, but more often than not, he just kind of drags it along the ground. And then you do notice that shiny skin. Now, just like all amphibians, you know, I wear gloves just to protect his skin because he does breathe through that skin, so that skin is really important to him, and anything that I have on my hands could easily be transferred to him. So I have to be really careful when I do handle this guy. Now, the other cool thing about tiger salamanders is the fact that they live pretty long. For an amphibian, these guys can live well over 15 years. That is long for an animal of this size, and especially an amphibian. 15 years, pretty long time. Now, the other thing about them here in Montana, you might be wondering, well, what about the winter? What do? They must freeze. These guys have learned to burrow. They dig really deep, and in some cases in the wintertime, these guys can burrow upwards of 8 feet below the dirt. And what they do is they hang out in the dirt until it warms up, and then they come back up and they spend their summers outside finding their food. So that's what they do in the wintertime. They might eat worms, things like that. So if you want to see a tiger salamander, well, when you're out and about, pick up some rocks, look in some of the ditches. You might even see these guys crawling around. But if you have trouble, you know where to come. Come on here, Zoo Montana, check these guys out, see them up close, and maybe you might even have an encounter with them. So until next time, I am Jeff the Nature Guy here at Zoo Montana. We'll see you real soon.